Hola mi gente, ¿cómo estás? How you doing? How you living? I just got out the shower. My hair is dripping wet and I can't find the right time to wash my hair ever. I don't know what's going on with that. I wash it before work, can't dry it. Now I'm washing it at night and regrets. But how y'all doing? It's 2023. I haven't talked to y'all in like 4 months, 4.5 months or so. And it has been a doozy this last month. January has definitely been a learning month, or it was. It's February 1st now. That last day of January, thought was going to be an easy one, and it wasn't. It was anything but. I don't know how much I want to go into that situation. It just ended up triggering me like so bad, and now my OCD is a little bit flared from it, but I'll take you through the beginning towards that part. So the beginning of the month, what happened first? My water heater went out, and I had a home warranty plan. I wasn't even tripping, wasn't worried. I paid their little deductible or whatever, had them come out, look at it, and found out it was not covered. I was like, son of a bitch. So obviously I was really torn to pieces over it not being covered. But because I don't know much about water heaters, I also called the gas people to come out and like check around my house, because I'm like, I don't know what happens with water heaters. Do they emit gas? Like, it is hooked up to my gas line, like if it, like, I don't know. So just to be on the safe side, I had the gas people come out. The lady was like, if you don't smell like rotten eggs, then it's more than likely there's no leak. So, but because you're concerned, I'm concerned, I'm gonna send somebody out, which I think her name was Courtney, and she was like the nicest lady ever. When it came to the gas people, because typically these people out here don't want to do their job. Like El Paso, they like to get money without doing anything at all. You would think they were a part of the upper echelon, but no. So anyways, so usually the gas guy comes out and he's mad because it'll be the third time I've had the gas company come out in almost 5 years, 3 times in 5 years. Anyways, so a guy came out and he was like, hey, there's nothing going on near your water heater, but do you mind if I check the rest of your house? I'm like, sure, go for it. And thinking nothing of it. Now, mind you, over the couple of weeks, I was complaining to my boss about not remembering things. I was having really bad brain fog, and like from time to time I still do, but I just contributed to me getting older. And they said when you're about to go through menopause, which battery was in the red, I should have known better. But anyways, I contributed to like possibly coming up towards menopause, which it's not outside the realm. I'm gonna be 43. So I was like, maybe that's it. Well, he tests my stove, which last year was giving me gas problems, and it also, the igniter went out. So this stove has been giving me problems since its birth. But he goes to my stove, he does the gas test is fine, but the carbon monoxide comes back at 217, which it's not supposed to come back as anything, and if anything it's very low. So he's like, hey, do not use this stove at all. I was like, okay. So then I put in with my home warranty people for the stove. So I get the quote. The people come out for my water heater. They're like, hey, we're gonna try to play it so that they'll be able to cover it for you. Just say this, follow my, I really appreciated it. They were really trying to do everything they could to get my water heater covered, but it just, they cover pieces of the water heater. Read the fine print, y'all. Pieces of the water heater. Now in the fine print that I read, it was small, and it said it would give you like cash value of the item if it could not be fixed. So I'm thinking that, but they were like, no, you have to look at this other section that I didn't read, which was like, oh, it's something point G, a very small one, and it says water heater pieces. So that happened. They're like, yeah, it's gonna cost you 800 and something to have it put in, plus the water heater. I was like, oh, fuck my life. So that was very emotional. Like, I put a lot of stress on me. There was a lot of strain going on with the stove with that. Um, then there was a leak that was going on as well. So the bathroom quote comes back, that's $800. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, are you? And then that's not to repaint everything, that's just pieces that can be repainted, okay? So they're like, oh, well, if you want to repaint the whole bathroom, that's $400. And I was like, we're going to change the color anyway, so don't even worry about it, sweetheart. Um, what else? So, oh my God, I can't even think of everything. Mind you, before this, before anything even happened, it was the week like of January just starting. I pulled my tarot cards. It spoke of financial ruins, bankruptcy, all kinds of stuff. Oh, there was another thing. I got served some papers again. So then that happened. That was all within this like 1 week. And I was like, what in the entire fuck? Like, I was on edge. On edge. I was just really, really on edge at that point. So at work, then I have these things, they're called tiers, right? And I ended up getting 2 tiers on one call because of something that was told to me by my team lead. And so she told me it was okay to verify information in this way. I verified it in that way for months. Never, not once, did a call get yanked for that. And I got a tier for verifying it in that way and checking that I verified it in that way, which I'd always done. So anyways, there was that. So I'm stressed at work over that because I've just never had a call with like that before, and I've never had 2 tiers in one call. And so that was stressing me out too, and it was just too much. So as I'm trying to scramble, get everything together, fix it, I had a week before they can come out for my hot water heater. Meanwhile, I'm taking showers in this cold, painfully cold water, and it's causing me to break out in blisters all over my body, and they're painful and they're itchy. And so it was causing me, like, the first time I did it, it was on the Saturday. And I called into work that day. Like, I was red all over. I would insert the picture that I took of myself, but it's explicit because it was me just naked out of the shower, but it was just red all over. And I had tears running down my face because I was like, at that point, like, what else is gonna go on? Things kept happening, like more and more things. So the 19th, I finally get my hot water heater, and I'm so excited to take my first shower. It only lasts for 5 minutes, so I need them to come back out now. And I haven't got around to calling them, to be honest with you. So I'm bummed over that. Like the following week after that, my guinea pig, she's elderly. I'm gonna probably cry at this part, okay, you guys? um she was elderly, but not, you know, she's 4, middle-aged, I would say. We were probably like the same, you know. She falls and she breaks her arm. She already had arthritis all over, but she was managing from what I can see. Like, I don't know how much pain she was in, but she's managing. We take her to the vet. We find out she has contusion and like bruising, which makes sense from the fall. So there's gases built up in her stomach. Her lungs are not clear. You can only see like a little bit of clearing in her. So they give her antibiotic pain meds. That cost me another $500. While I'm at the vet and they're checking on mine, another family, it's another mother-daughter duo, they're bringing in their guinea pig. You can tell by the way that they pass it off to the vet tech that something is wrong, like its body is lifeless, and they are crying. And we're crying, like we're over there sad on our side for our guinea pig, you know? And I'm telling Kimon, I'm like, I feel like I want to go over there and just hug them. I don't know them. I don't know like what the outcome is gonna be, But I just went over there, like she's like, you're weird anyways, mom, just whatever. So I just went up there and I grabbed them both and I just hugged them so tight, and I was just like, I'm so sorry. And they cried so hard in my arms, like so hard, and I cried too. Like we were just all crying together. And there the vet tech comes out. This is not even my pig, but it was still the saddest thing. The vet tech comes out, and while we're all embraced, it was like I didn't detect a heartbeat. And I was just like, oh my god, this is like a really intimate moment. I don't really know them, and I'm just hugging them, and I eventually just leave so they can get the details, because I felt like that was personal. And so they get the details, and then they had just bought meds, all kinds of stuff for their guinea pig. I could tell because I can see in the back, like they were on the right side and I was on the left. The left is where you could see through what they're doing with the animals, and I saw them take him back, but I could tell that yeah, I just could tell them, yeah. So, you know, finally we get our piggy back after she gets her x-rays and everything done. And they tell us about the lungs and her filled up with gas and everything. But she was like, listen, we're gonna give her the best outcome. Like, you know, I feel like she can make it. She might have a weird arm, but I'll let you know when it's time to, you know, if we need to put her down. If her quality of life gets bad, we're gonna put her down. Which I totally agree. So for the next couple days she manages, she gets around. I know she's in a lot of pain, but guinea pigs are a prey in the wild, so they won't show you their pain, they will just manage. Yesterday, or no, the day before yesterday, I don't know my days anymore, I got off early yesterday, it was Monday. I get off work, Kimana comes to her room. She has a really small voice again, and just like she did with Egypt, just like she did with Neff, but she's like, she's laying on her side, and I'm like preparing myself mentally, but I was not prepared for what happened. It was apparent that this was going to be her last moments, so I'm rubbing her and rubbing her and rubbing her, telling her all these great things about herself, telling her how strong she is, telling her how we loved having her, telling her the story about when we got her, telling her the story about how we would make jokes about her because she originally was a boy, and then she ended up, when we took her to the vet, finding out she was a girl, telling her about, like, we were actually getting another guinea pig that day. It was supposed to be named Lenny, and we ended up getting her and naming her Lenora and calling her Lenny. And just telling her all this stuff, and as I'm petting her, she's like, her body's like fighting. You can tell she's fighting to stay with us. She's fighting her hardest to stay with us. And I'm like, oh god, you know, Kimana's there, and she's like really crying, and I'm just trying to calm Lenny down so that she's comfortable. And I was like, Kimana, give her meds. And so Kimana put some meds in her, but she fought for over an hour and then finally released. And it was sad because anytime we would, like, you know, touch her, embrace her, she fought harder. Like, you could tell. Like, there was times where she was completely calm, but if I rubbed her, then she would just fight harder. If Kimana rubbed her, I was like, listen, let her know you're here, because she's leaving. You know, I held Egypt for 4 hours in my arms when she passed away in 2021. Neff, when she passed, she wanted to be alone in this corner, and she passed. And Lenny was in the corner of her cage, and all the guinea pigs are staying over there. We got a new guinea pig today. His name is Rico. He's a little I was probably very impulsive for I let Kimana make that decision if she felt like she was ready, because it had not yet been 48 hours. It hasn't yet been 48 hours since it happened. So I'm like, hey, it's your decision. If you want to do it, I support you. The boys were taking it really, really hard. So I just, I don't know. You know, we're obviously all taking it hard. So yesterday I went over to a friend's house. Everyone that has my location on was checking my location yesterday. It was kind of funny. I ended up far away from my house, like 45 minutes away. And this is the part, I don't know. I don't know if I want to share it, but I'll just say that it really triggered me, and I ended up sending a message today like, hey, we can't talk anymore. Like, I can't do this anymore. And you guys know me. I have a hard time like ending things, friendships, whatever they are. I have a hard time with it, but this was really, really hard for me to do. I ended up sending like a 4-minute video explaining it, because at first I was gonna call, but he's not the type that you can talk to. So like I just sent it in a format that I just felt comfortable sending it in, and then he ended up calling me and started with, like, you can tell like he was aggressive in his tone, and I was like, you know what, thank you for telling me that, thank you for sharing that with me, okay. And then I hung up. A couple hours later he texts me and he's like, for the record, I did care about you. And I just put same, and yeah, and that's where we ended it. It was just shitty, you know. I hope February is not going to be like this too, because it kind of like overlapped from yesterday into today. When I left his house last night, like, he called me while I was outside waiting, and was like, you didn't have to leave, and you know, so fast, and all this stuff. And I didn't know what I was supposed to do, but without context, you guys are not going to understand. And because it's something so triggering for me, I'm just having a hard time articulating it. And so I don't even know if I can share it, or if I don't know if I can share it, because I don't know how it's going to be viewed without me going into the full context of everything that happened. I just don't know that I can even, I don't even know if this is shareable on YouTube, to be honest with you. So yeah, it's really sad, because like, while I was going through everything that I was going through, I wasn't really talking to anyone, because that's how I coped. You guys that have watched me in the past know that I seclude myself when I'm going through anything. And I've stayed away from everyone, literally everyone, because I was a freaking mess. I just deal with things alone. But he wasn't letting me do that. He wasn't letting me go into seclusion. He was making me talk, and I was really appreciative over that. And I just wish that it didn't end the way that it did. Another thing that I was gonna talk about, oh, and then like the day before, I think, the incident with Eleni, my ex sent me a picture of his fridge. He had no food in it. Now I'm going through like the worst shit in my financial life, and he's showing me that, and I'm like, hey, do you need anything? Do you want anything? I can get you stuff, you know. And so we end up going to the store together and getting groceries, and I gave him some gas money, and I didn't really expect anything in return. I also didn't think I was going to need anything in return either. But the following day after I helped him was when I had the situation with the guinea pig needing to go to the hospital. So he did come down, and because I had no idea how much it was going to cost, and so he did come down, take her to the hospital, and he did help me out with the mortgage for January because everything kept bombarding me financially that honestly hadn't got around to that. I didn't have the money for that. Um, so so he did help me by giving me the money for the mortgage and stuff. And I'm grateful. I'm not gonna sit up there and act like I wasn't grateful. I didn't ask for shit because I was gonna figure it out one way or another. Like that's just how it was gonna be. But I was grateful that he assisted me with that. He also assisted by he's like, I'll pay for Wolf's appointment because that was the next, and that has never been less than $250. This time it was. But he was like, hey, I'll pay for Wolf's appointment, don't worry about it. So he assisted with that too. My mom was just like, you guys should probably get back together because you guys are like going through it without each other. And I don't think that we are. I just think that this was just a tough month. You know, it was just a tough month for me. I don't know what happened over there for him financially, to be honest with you. But for me, it was a tough month. His mortgage is less than our mortgages. Like his costs are way less than my costs are. So I don't know financially. Like he makes more than me. So I don't know how what happens on his end, to be honest with you. That part I don't know. But I was grateful for the assistance with that. I mean, it just, I don't know. I was really, really stoked about my trip in March and things happening, but as life kept taking like turns, I'm like, I need to cancel that. I don't know. Life has just been so crazy, so stinking crazy for me, and I've been getting these wild headaches, and my vision will like blur out, and I can't see sometimes, and I don't know if it's stress related. I don't know, like I have no idea, but it's just been hard. It's been really, really hard. Emotionally, it's been hard. Financially, it's been hard. It was just a hard month. I pulled my cards again and it sounded like it was gonna be good. I pulled them I think yesterday and it sounded like things were gonna go good, and then I get to my friend's house and everything just went downhill from there. I don't know. Yeah, so Wolf had his appointment today. He had bilateral ear infection. I thought he only had it on the one side. I was mostly focused on the one that I can see visibly had it, but every now and again I would try if he would let me do the other side too. He said it wasn't even that bad, so like managing it, he said that I was managing it pretty well for how long it took for him to get in, and so they ended up packing his ear, and then so now he's gonna be like shaking his head and stuff for a while because it's in both of his ears. His bilirubin came back high. His bilirubin came back high. His, what else? Another enzyme came back high. I asked about his eyes, if he was getting cataracts. They said it was like a fogginess that was normal for his age. I don't know. I'm not ready for that either. Just I don't know. His leg just hanging off the side of the bed. He won't lay on his stuff. He'd lay all over mine. But yeah, that's what's been going on in my life lately. So, and how am I feeling today emotionally? Checking in. I feel still overwhelmed. I'm not gonna lie. I still feel overwhelmed. I still feel overwhelmed. I guess life is just life and I have to deal with it how I do. But I don't know, I feel like I haven't been able to care for myself in the right ways and stuff like that. It's just constant things over the last month, but before then I was okay. It was just, yeah, inflation has been putting a little like squeeze on me. But yeah, other than that, I was fine. I just hate buying groceries. Just hate buying groceries and all that stuff. But hopefully things are gonna mellow out. Right now, Rico is bunking with Cairo, and hopefully they get to know each other well because he's a really small guinea pig. You know, I think he's the smallest one we've had. Pepe was small that we had, but he was still bigger than Rico. So I don't know what's going on at the pet store that they're so small. If they're taking them too soon from their moms, I don't know. So we had to get him some guinea pig, like baby guinea pig food or young guinea pig food, so that he has everything he needs to survive. And Kimana got them a couple treats and stuff, and yeah, got wolf treats. Shit goes hard when it ain't her card. So I guess that's it on the updates. As far as like me and the ex, I don't really talk to him all that often, just because I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to divorce, and like the reason why we're not gonna be together is just, you know, like something that people typically don't talk to each other over. So I don't know if I'm doing divorce right. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how I'm doing it. I just am doing things. He will email me and we will talk. You know, maybe every week, once a week, maybe every other week. Because I mean, I know he's by himself, and I know people are probably like, the things that he's done to me, like, why do I care? I don't know. I fucking don't know. I don't know. Like my friend, when I went to his house, that black guy, he was like, you need to like fuck him. Like he was abusive. You need to not deal with him. And like, I wish everything was that easy for me. I wish I knew how to just be like, fuck it. I wish I knew, like, when his fridge was, he was showing me his fridge and he didn't have food, like, that I could just be like, fuck him, you know, but I can't. And I don't know why I can't, honestly. I couldn't do it to a lot of people. It's not just him. Trust me, I've been fucked over 10 ways to Sunday, and I still have a hard time, like, fucking people off. You know, I would still be there for people that have hurt me, but I don't know why. I think I put myself in their shoes and I just feel bad. Because, I mean, my deep freezer's full, my fridge is full. We say it's empty all the time, but honestly, it's packed to the brim. It's just shit we don't want to make, and there's just food sitting here. Because I don't cook like I used to. I get off at 6:30. When I was getting off at 2:30, I was cooking dinner, you know what I mean? But when I started getting off at 6:30, I stopped because it was a 10-hour, I do 10-hour days, and I'm tired. So I don't want to cook. I don't want to do anything. I just come back here and I lay down and I pretty much watch Shameless and go to bed. But yeah, I just wanted to catch up on my shit show of a life. I'm gonna try to dry my hair now. Make sure that doesn't stink, because if you don't dry it, it will stink. Plus, I need to moisturize it. I noticed yesterday when he was like touching my hair and stuff that it kind of, I don't know if you can hear it now, but it kind of sounds. So, I'm gonna do that. So, the rough part of the month was probably Lenny. She has an appointment tomorrow, but obviously she's not gonna go to. Kimana called her dad and he took her to go get cremated and stuff. So yeah, that's that on that. I really miss you guys, love you guys and stuff. It's just been a tough month, and I planned, like, I was like, oh, I'm gonna restart my schedule up again, and I'm gonna do everything again, and yeah, I lied to myself.